Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 9 of this author strategy seminar series. I'm just going to change the view for you and make sure that everything is okay. Now, please bear with me. I've been awake since 5 a.m. this morning. It is now 5:30 in the afternoon, and I've been in London at the House of Lords celebrating the 100 women who were selected, myself included, as the 100 most impressive female founders of 2025 by the Small Business Britain Awards. So I'm quite tired, but work must go on. And so today we're going to be looking at what does a #1 bestseller actually mean? Is it really worth it? And is the pressure to get it feasible? What does it actually mean? So as always, I've got 7 slides that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to be just running through them as I normally do. We hope to wrap up around about after 45 minutes. If you've got any questions that you'd like to ask, please drop them in the chat as I go through. Those of you who are watching on the catch-up, please drop your comments in the your questions in the comment below, and I'll get back to them, and myself and my team will get back to you. You can also visit dawnbates.com and go to Pick My Brain, where you will find a lot of information on the various different sides of the publishing industry. So just to kick off, so one of the things that I am wanting to talk about today is being a #1 bestseller all it's cracked up to be? Now, some people might think that, oh, it's okay for you, Dawn. You've already got you're already an international bestseller. Of course, it doesn't mean anything to you anymore. You've got all these books. But just for clear transparency, when I got my first international bestseller, I was like, holy shit, how the hell did I get that? There was no strategy in place. There was no, I'm going to go after an international bestseller. My focus was just on writing the book, just on setting the record straight, because I was sick and fed up with hearing people talk about things that were happening in Egypt, because my first bestseller was Wallahi, and what it was like living in the Egyptian uprising as a white British female. So it wasn't about let's go after an international bestseller, but that's what happened. And it happened. I wrote the book in 7 days, and 7 days later, it was an international bestseller. That does not mean to say that it took me from idea to conception to write in 7 days. There was a lot of research that went before that, but I sat down and I just wrote it all out in 7 days. And that took about 11 to 12,000 words every day for me to write it. Like I said, there was a lot of research before it. Anyone that tells you you can write a book in 7 days, I would question them. So anyway, so there was no strategy for me to get my first international bestseller. And if I'm completely honest, I don't know how I've got the rest of the international bestsellers. I've just shown up. I've just done what I do. I've connected with people. I've talked to the right people. I've just shown up and gone, right, I'm writing this book. This is what it's about. And each day, every time I write it, I take myself away. I isolate myself. I tell people I'm writing it. Don't expect to hear from me. And then each day it's like, maybe if I feel compelled to, okay, I've smashed out 12,000 words today. I've smashed out 11,000 words. And that's how I do it. It's an overnight success story that took about 27 years. So, okay, I wanted to be clear on that. Okay, so the international bestseller status, just to be, again, completely transparent, is very easy to get an international bestseller. All you have to do is select the most obscure category that you can think of that relates to your book, and then sell. Sometimes it only takes about 2 or 3 books to sell in that category, and that's a #1 bestseller in that category. That's it. That's not a true international bestseller. A true international bestseller is you just selecting the category that your book is about, and then really, really selling your book, promoting your book, people buying it. It could mean that people have bought it on Amazon. It could mean that they bought them from you directly. It could mean that they bought it from a retail store. But again, it's what do we classify as an international bestseller? Now, there have been a lot of people, and I'm just about to share my slides with you, hang on 1 second, let me just get this right, because as you know, those of you who follow me and who have been joining me, there are some technical issues that Dawn likes to overcome each and every session. I don't want to be downloading it, I want to be presenting it. So hang on. Oh my Lord. They've had some Prosecco this week, today, so you've got me in Prosecco mode. Okay, so step 1, why? Why do you want to be a #1 bestseller? Is it because people have told you that you need to be an international bestseller to be successful? Is it because it's something you've always dreamed of? And if you have always dreamed of being a #1 international bestseller, or just a national bestseller, or category bestseller, or genre bestseller, why do you want that? Because when we understand our why for something, then we understand where it has come from. It might just be borrowed values, it might be borrowed beliefs. And as we all know, if it's not your true heart, it's not your true soul belief, return to sender, send it back to them, it's not yours. You don't need to be borrowing what other people think is your idea of success. You are you, other people are them. And their beliefs and values and morals have nothing to do with you. So understand why you want to be a #1 international bestseller or a #1 bestseller. For me, like I said, I never intended to be a best-selling author. It was just, okay, I need to write this book. It wasn't even about I need to sell this many copies, but I need to write this book. And when I'd written the book and the reviews I got in from my readers, it was like, oh my God, this is actually something, I've hit upon something that now I need to get this book out there to other people because it's making this much of a difference. And that's when I say, what have you been told about your book that makes you want to have that #1 international bestseller? For me, it's like, if I've had the impact on the readers that I've had so far, imagine how much of an impact my books could have if I reached 1 million readers. Now, remember, and I don't know if you already know this, again, I don't know how far you are on your journey, but each book has a life shelf of average 4 readers. And that means that if you buy a book, you'll probably lend it to a friend. Once you're both done with it, it might stay on your shelf for maybe a year or 2. You might then donate it to charity, but someone will buy it from the charity shop and they'll lend it to a friend. So that's the number of people that read it. But on average, there are 4 people, there are 3 people in one person's life. And when somebody is dramatically changed or even slightly changed by your book, it will impact on average 4 people. So for you to sell a book that reaches an international bestseller status, I want to receive 1 million readers, because I know that once I've reached 1 million readers, that's 4 million readers per book, and that's huge global change. That's 4 million people that have been positively impacted by my books. That excites me. So what do you believe an international bestseller means to you? It's not the international bestseller that I'm going for, it's social impact, the happiness scale that I'm going for. So again, what is it for you? It's not about money for me, it's about impact. How am I impacting other people's lives with my book? And the other thing that I want you to consider is, just because your book is an international bestseller does not mean to say you're a great writer. It doesn't mean to say that you have written something of quality. There are lots of authors out there that are buying reviews, that have a large audience, that are buying up large quantities of their own book and then giving them away to people in their network. Some of these people in their network will never read their book, but because they've got a large audience, these people become an international bestseller. In all honesty, if my dog Chewy just walked across some blank paper and I put that as a book, I have the strategies in mind and that I have learned over the last decade to make that book as an international bestseller. Doesn't mean it's any good, but I can still get it to be an international bestseller. Again, what does it mean to you, and why are you so determined to get that? Do you think you become a better person or a better writer, a better author, and a better marketeer because of it? Or are you happy with who you are? Again, this is the difference between me as an author coach and somebody as a writing and a book coach. As an author coach, I tackle all the elements of a book coach, and as a writing coach, I look at the whole person, the whole journey, the business, the publishing, the values, the beliefs, and the goals and the strategies.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Going through.
so step 2, why do you need a #1 bestseller to feel good about yourself and your writing? What have you been told? Why is it everybody and their dog is an international bestseller? And I'll be honest with you, telling people that I'm an international bestselling author, award-winning, it's getting a bit tired. When you tell people that you're an international bestselling author, like, oh, are you? But you're a coach and a publisher as well. Yeah, I am. But again, for very different reasons. I've been a coach for nearly 30 years. I became a publisher by accident. I published my own books because I got my book back from a traditional publisher who wouldn't allow me to own my voice, who wanted to water my voice down and actually become part of the mainstream. I was not going to have it. Me knowing that my writing was good enough and that it would reach the depths of a person was all the validation that I needed. I didn't need the validation of a #1 bestseller. So I want you to look at, why do you need to become a #1 bestseller to feel good about yourself and your writing? Do you not believe in yourself? Do you not believe that you are an accomplished author or an accomplished writer without it? That's only something that you can answer. And it's something that you need to tackle and you need to dive into. Now, if you want to dive into it, you can take my 7-week author course as a standalone course, or you can join me for my 7-week author course live. Details on that at the end if you want to know about it. But one of the things you need to look at is what is lacking within you that you need the validation of other people and complete strangers to give you that #1 bestseller status. What can you acknowledge about yourself? Is your story real? Is it accurate? Is it honest? Is it heartfelt? Does it resonate? Does it educate? If you answer yes to all of those, or at least half of those questions, then your book should be good enough. Forget about the grammar police. Get an editor. Forget about getting it right. Get an editor and a proofreader. Hire somebody to help you. Whether that's me as your manuscript assessor, working with somebody like me as your author coach, you need to find that validation within yourself without all of the accolades. Otherwise, you're never going to be happy and you're always going to be chasing the impossible dream. You need to know that you are good enough and that your writing is already first class. And if it's not first class, take some writing courses. If it's an investigative piece, if it's a whistleblowing piece, take a journalism course, take a research course. There are so many things out there that can help you. I'm taking courses all the time. I'm about to embark on a 12-week journalism course. And then after that, I'm going to take another editing course. And after that, I'm probably going to take another course. Again, it's understanding why you are writing or what it is that your book is there to accomplish. Step 3, make a list of all the accolades you want and then describe why they are important to you. Now, I have made no secret as to the fact that I want the Nobel Peace Prize for Literature. The reason I want that is because it means that I've made a substantial contribution to human lives around the world. You can't get it any other way. You couldn't get it any other way when I first started researching it. So far, I know this to still be true. It might have changed in the last 24 hours. Remember, this is the 7th of March, 2025 when I'm recording this. It could be different tomorrow. It could be different from the time those of you who are watching the recording. It could be very different. So I'm time stamping this. As of today, as of this moment, that is accurate, what I've just shared. So you need to know why you want these accolades. Is it that you want the New York Times bestseller? If so, do you have a New York publisher? Do you have a New York Times PR company? Are you brown nosing those at the New York Times social elite clubs and the networks and their events? Because it's highly unlikely that you will become a New York Times bestseller unless you are willing to throw out $150,000 at it and you are based in New York with your team with you in New York. Not even Malcolm Gladwell got a New York Times bestseller when he had outsold numerous New York Times bestsellers, and his writing was so much better than the rest of them. The New York Times bestseller list does not go on quality. It doesn't go on the number of copies sold. It goes on how much you can brown nose the people at the New York Times. The Financial Times bestseller, however, does go on the number of copies sold. Again, it doesn't go on quality. It goes on the number of copies sold. So what kind of bestseller do you want to be? What kind of awards do you want? Is it that you want the award for social impact? Is it the fact that you want the book, an award for business mentor or spiritual healer or romance novelist or dark fantasy? What accolade and bestseller status do you want? What is your genre? What is the best accolade you can achieve? And what does it take to get there? And if you purchase the module, if you purchase my 7-week course, of course, you'll find out in module 6, I think it is, more than just money. It's all in module 6. Now, remember, when you are going after all of these accolades, what does it actually mean to the most important person in this whole cycle, your reader? Do your readers care if you're a bestseller or not? Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a reader first. Reader first, writer second, author third, publisher fourth. And I don't really care whether a book is a best-selling book or not. I don't care how many reviews that other people have, because I never read the reviews. Do I like the cover? Do I like the sound of the blurb? Do I like the font? When I open it up, am I gripped by the bit that I'm reading? It could be middle of the book. It could be the first paragraph. It could be well, I wouldn't say the end page, because who wants to read the end page before they buy the book? But again, look at what it is that your readers are looking for. Are they just looking for escape? Are they looking for personal transformation? Now, as tomorrow is International Women's Day, here in Britain in 2025, but again around the world, one of the best things for me, and I tweeted this this morning on my X account, the best thing to buy a woman on International Women's Day are a pile of books that nourish her brain, her soul, and her body, and helps her get closer to the book, to her personal goals. That's the best thing you can buy for any woman. But then I'm biased. So are there things that are meaningful for your audience? Are you helping them escape a life of abuse? Are you allowing them to develop the confidence of reading? Are you helping them overcome their fear of learning because they were ridiculed at school? Now, I've got a number of readers who are buying my books who are dyslexic. When I get a message from a dyslexic reader telling me that they love my books and that I'm helping them learn about the world after a teacher ridiculed them or classmates made fun of them and they thought they hated reading and now they love it, that is an accolade that I can be proud of. Doesn't matter how many awards or how many other accolades I get. Those are the accolades I want, the ones of my readers. So what are your books meaning to your readers? And what do you need to do to obtain it? Are you going to meet them in bookstores? Are you going to meet them at schools? Are you going to meet them at Comic-Cons? Are you going to meet them at festivals? Are you going to meet them in at conferences? Where are you going to meet your audiences? And what is it that you are doing that helps them connect with you? Again, what do you think is going to mean? Do you think it's going to mean fame and riches? Do you think it's going to mean that everybody's going to flocking to you and go, oh my God, I really need you. I need you to speak at my event. Most business people now are just regurgitating a load of vanilla content. There's nothing personal. There's nothing evergreen in their books. So lots of business owners are being told by their business coach or by their PR agency they need to write a book. No, they don't. Stop writing a book because other people tell you to. Figure out whether you want to write a book And once you've figured out what you want to write a book, what does hitting that #1 bestseller list mean to you? When you know that, then you can work backwards. Like Stephen Covey said, you know, begin with the end in mind. But also look at the strategies. Because there have been a number of people, I mean, there's a gentleman that I was speaking to this week about this subject. And what we're finding is platforms such as KDP are giving away your book for free just to get it on an international bestseller list, but you're not actually making any royalties. You've got people buying reviews for $250 for 250 reviews. You've got people buying adverts. You've got people, like I said, Amazon ads. They're buying Meta ads. And people are buying the book, and are they happy with it? Have they really chosen it? Or was it just a great marketing campaign or an ad campaign? And as this chap said to me, it was an absolute load of bollocks. His words, not mine, but I would agree with him. It is focusing on empty promises, dive deep. I mean, then he went into a complete huge sales pitch to me. And he's saying it's not all it's cracked up to be. He's an international bestseller on his latest book on Amazon, and it's pretty much a scam. I know Amazon allows it. I heard the company paid him too much money and they didn't tell me this, but they gave away my book for 5 days for free. I had well over 1,400 downloads. How many reviews? 0. Then I complained, so they did a paid promotion. I sold over 140 in 48 hours, which made it a bestseller paid. So again, are you actually getting the recognition that you deserve? Are you actually getting the results that you want? Or are the platforms manipulating you? Because the other thing that you need to know about KDP and a lot of the other platforms is that you might actually be selling a lot of books. And when I say a lot of books, if you're self-published, if you're not selling $100 or £100 or more, Amazon are sitting on your royalties, making millions of them. Now, the reason why I say they're making millions of them is because KDP are not paying out royalties unless you've sold $100 or £100 worth of sales books. And if you haven't sold that much, and if you can imagine how many other self-published authors there are out there are millions. So Amazon are making a huge amount of profit off your sales and not paying you out until you've hit that threshold. Now, there are some arguments that say, well, that actually encourages you to sell more. But then there's the other argument is it's your money, your hard work. Why are they making interest off you? Now, it might be something that you want to look at. You might want to run paid ads, but are they encouraging you to spend money that you don't have to enable you to get the money that you are due? Or are they asking you to do those ads so that you do become a bestseller? Again, you've got to look at the bigger picture. You've got to look at how the publishing platforms are manipulating you and what that pressure is being put on you. Because if you are publishing by one of those platforms and you're waiting to get paid and you're not being paid out, are you going to be pressurized into stepping up to actually spend more money and do more things and show up on social media more, working yourself to a bone, and not actually getting the joy out of what you set out to do? You've got to look at the strategy. And if you've already achieved #1 international bestseller or #1 bestseller in any of the above categories, like I say, New York Times bestseller, Financial Times, Barnes and Noble, the Oprah Winfrey, what have you, whatever book club, is that putting you under pressure to achieve more? And if so, why are you allowing complete strangers to put you under pressure? You've got to look at your own mental health, your own capacity, your own skill base, and learn what's actually serving you and your reader rather than serving the publishing platforms or the business coaches, the PR agency, and the larger corporations. And is your ego in check? Because if you're just doing it out of ego, what is lacking within you that you have to operate from a place of ego, and what can you actually let go of? As I've mentioned previously, do you know that the bestsellers list don't mean great writing or number of books? Like I said, I mentioned Malcolm Gladwell. They're not a reflection of your talent as a writer, only a reflection of your marketing tactics. If you've got somebody who's great at marketing, but your writing is atrocious, really, is that what you want? I would rather be a great writer and sell fewer copies of a book than be a terrible writer and sell hundreds of copies and have people not enjoy what I'm producing. Again, it depends on whether you want the title of author or whether you're a true writer. Are you somebody who wants to create great literature or just a book? You've got to know which one is right for you. Again, coming back to what I mentioned earlier, gaining a bestseller doesn't really mean anything anymore. So what are you making it mean? I was at a business networking event in the summer of last year, probably around like September, I think. And I said, and a guy asked me, what do I do? I said, well, I'm a writer, and I coach other people to be writers, and I have my own publishing company. It goes, well, you and everybody else. Do you have a podcast as well? Ironically, I do. But that is just to showcase the book that I write and my clients. But again, every man and his dog these days, an author or a coach or a publisher, because we're told that these are the get-rich-quick schemes. I've not come from that space. I've come from a word nerd, somebody who used to hide in the library to avoid the bullies, who has found all her answers to life in literature, to escape from the nasties in life into books. I am a word nerd. Like I say, I'm a reader first, then a writer, then an author, and then a publisher. Again, what is you making this title of bestseller mean for you? Because nobody really cares. Nobody really cares if you're a bestseller or not, especially not in the business world. People on the street might go, oh my God, wow, might feel intimidated, and you might get a serotonin buzz from that. But really, is that you wanting that accolade and that prestige above other people? Or do you just go, you know what? Yeah, I write for a living. You save people's lives in A&E. You teach the future generations. You build our homes. You get everybody from A to B. You make our food. Again, what are you making your career choice mean? And are you good enough without other people's permission and awe of you? We talk about awe-inspiring, you're awesome. But are you really? Is it just other people who feel inadequate about themselves looking up to you, feeling that they are inadequate or that they could never achieve what you do? And are you getting a buzz off what they feel a lack of within themselves? If you are getting a buzz off other people feeling a lack of within themselves, then you need to check yourself and you need to go, actually, why do I need that? And you need to bring yourself back into equilibrium and remember that we are all the same. We all bleed red. We all bruise if I kick you, because I used to do MMA. I know I can kick you and I can make you breathe. So again, how are you going to prove it to yourself, not others, that you are good enough without all of these accolades? Okay. Final step, when you get this new accolade, like I said, whether it's an award, whether it's a bestseller, or whether it's an author of the year, or whatever the accolade is that going to be enough for you? Or are you going to be striving for that next thing? Now, again, full transparency, for me, it's not about the accolades. When I get them, I'm like, holy crap, I just wrote a book. I mean, I get excited putting that final full stop around. I'm like, oh my God, I just wrote a book. I'm 21 books in, with another 3 due out in the next couple of months, and then another 20. I think we've got another 20, or does that include the next 3? Anyway, in the next 3 or 4 years. My goal is not to publish as many books as possible. It's about me sharing all of those stories that are in those books. It's about me educating and empowering and uplifting other people and saying, you know what, you're not alone. You've got this. And if you need help, here's the information for you to know that you have got this. And that for me is enough to know that I'm putting something out there that will help other people raise themselves up in life, to feel more confident, to feel hope, to transform their life from where they are, and for people to know that you don't need to pay expensive university or college fees, or that you don't need to have that expensive coach or that expensive therapist. You can buy a book and you can heal yourself and you can grow without all the extras. That for me is a beautiful thing. But again, that's my accolade, knowing that my sales are going up and I'm helping other people. Now, remember, being an international bestseller or a national bestseller, it's not a bad thing. Absolutely, it's not. It's opened doors for me, which has enabled me to be able to write more books and reach more people. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If that's what you want, go for it. If that is the opportunity that you feel is going to help you drive your message home and to obtain more readers, to help more people, absolutely go for it. But make sure your reasoning behind it is absolutely sound, that it's not coming from a place of ego, that it's not coming from a place of having to prove yourself, because you are enough. You are enough as who you are. And then when you do get that status, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to fancy around with your peacock feathers and go, oh, I'm a bestseller author, don't you know? Oh, absolutely, look at me, aren't I fabulous? No, because guess what? You still go to the toilet, my darling. You still need to shower. And you know what? It still stinks. So if you are going to go after these accolades of being a #1 bestseller and you're going to go after all these awards, what are you making it mean? What is then next? Are you going to be constantly striving for the next big thing, to fix that hole or to feel adequate, rather than fixing the hole and going, why do I have this hole? Why do I feel inadequate without these accolades and without these awards? What greatness are you going to create for yourself and for your readers moving forward? Because again, if you need all of these frills, or as we say in England, if you need all the fur coats without the knickers, and those of you who don't know what knickers are, go and Google it for British English. If you need all of the pomp and ceremony without the guts and the gore and the reality, why? Look deeper inside of yourself. Go really deep. And if you need someone to go deep with, you know where I am. Now, for those of you who are interested and have actually enjoyed what it is that I do and what I've been sharing with you, then there is the opportunity for you to work with me. You can book a free author coaching session with me at authors.youcanbook.me. For those of you who are on the catch up, you can actually the comment will be in the within the notes. You'll be able to see that I have several appointments available on this Monday the 17th. I've got 3 on the 18th, and I've only got 1 on March the 20th. If you would like to join me to go through my 7-week author course, visit dawnbates.com/7-week author course, and here you will be able to see the different modules that I'll be doing. We start live on the 14th of March, and in this course it's 7 weeks, so it's not elongated, it's not 12, it's not 8, it's not months long, it's only 7 weeks. But each session is about 2.5 hours, where we go deep into each module. We do some networking, we do some mind mapping, and we do some breakout rooms. And those of you who need a live coaching session on the call, then I'll be doing some laser coaching sessions with you. Module 1, as I said, is all about mastering the art of book writing. Module 2 is all about the vision creation for maximum impact. So you'll be able to look at what it is that you really want to achieve and overcoming your limiting beliefs. And we do tap into the 5D world. We do go a bit woo. And then it's all about showing you the money, and about how you can create a book which is a profitable, life-saving asset, strategically building your author business and assembling your team. Module 4 is about living and loving life your way. So creating your dream life, not somebody else's idea of a dream life, but your idea of a dream life. I know I could sell a lot more books if I showed up on video and I did all of the things, but I'm a podcast and a book person for a reason. I like people to listen to the words rather than get caught up in the lifestyle. And then we're looking at module 5, which is environment is everything. And I'm not just talking about the physical environment and logistics of publishing. I'm talking about the environment in your head and in your emotional space and your physical space at home with your family and your friends and social circle. Then we're looking at module 6, which is more than just money. And it's all about what is it you're going to do. It's looking at philanthropy. It's looking at breaking those limiting beliefs and unlocking new opportunities. And then number 7, the final module is looking at how you move beyond the book and it being published, because trust me, publishing a book is a bit of an anticlimax. So how are you actually driving it forward, deepening your vision, showing yourself as an authority, and actually embracing the responsibility of freedom? So if that sounds like something you'd like, then do go to dawnbates.com/7-week author course. There are payment plans to join me. You can pay for them all at once over 3, 6, or 9 months. And like I said, it's 7 weeks for 2.5 hours per session. We start on the 14th of March this year, 2025. It will be on a Friday. It will start at 2 o'clock on a Friday GMT. So that gives the people in the EST and Mountain Time and Pacific Standard Time the opportunity to join us before work. And those of you in Europe and Australia to join us either in the afternoon or in the early evening. So do come and join us. And if there's anything else that I can help you with, then do drop me a message. Send me your questions. You can either send them through to hello@dawnbates.com, or you can send them through the website at dawnbates.com/contact. And that is it from me this evening. I'm about to go and catch a coach back from London to Cardiff. So another 4 hours on the coach. So yes, it's been a great day. Thank you for joining me. And like I said, if you've got any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. And if you're on LinkedIn, join me at LinkedIn/dawnbates, FRSA, which stands for the Fellowship of the Royal Society of Arts. And thank you so much for joining me, and especially those of you who have taken the time to join me today and those catching up on the replay. These will be sent. This recording will be sent to you if you've signed up for the email, along with the slides. And yeah, that's it from me. Have a great day. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.